Hello friends and greetings for the day. Welcome back to another tutorial on ISTQB Test Automation Engineer certification. We are getting started with the chapter 5 in this tutorial, which is talking about strategies or for the test automation, which certainly talks about implementation and deployment strategies. And as a part of this, today we are getting started with 5.1, that is integration to CI or CD pipeline. And they have multiple subtopics. As a part of today's tutorial, we'll be discussing on 5.1.1, that is apply test automation at different levels within pipelines. And as a part of this particular video, we'll be deep diving into what are the scope of these DevOps concepts when it comes to automation with respect to the different test levels. To give you a quick introduction, certainly all of you must be very much aware of what is DevOps pipeline. We basically look forward to automate maximum when it comes to the CI/CD, that is continuous integration and continuous deployment. As a part of Agile, we look forward to implement this rule, that is we try to achieve maximum possible automation to avoid as much manual intervention as possible. And as a part of doing this maximum automation possibility, we try to maximize most of our test levels with automation scripts. And this would be event-based triggered executions, like if the previous one passes, the next one will be executed. So indeed, the CI/CD pipeline would have a lot of contributions from the automation engineer. An engineer need to understand that what is their participation at different levels when it comes to the CI/CD pipeline. To get started with, we are discussing first those levels and what is the contribution of these CI/CD pipeline with respect to the test automation. Or in fact, I should say other way around, what does an automation tester contribute to when it comes to DevOps altogether? So to get started with, of course, we are discussing on the very high level introduction that one of the main benefits of test automation is that the implemented tests can run unattended, making them ideal candidates to run within pipelines. This can be accomplished through CI/CD pipelines or the pipeline used to run the test regularly. The various test levels which are usually integrated are as follows. Number one, the configuration tests for the TAF, which is Test Automation Framework, or TAS, Test Automation Solution, during build can be considered as a subspecies of the component test. These tests are run during the build of a test automation project and check that all paths to the files used in the test script are correct, that the files really exist and are located at this specified paths. So I would try to refer this in a more simpler way. First of all, we are talking about the very first step in the pipeline, which is more of like configuration test. The configuration test would check for all sort of prerequisites what we are interested to use as a part of any subsequent test. Indeed, the word subsumes or subspecies basically wanted to refer here that it could be one of the included prerequisite tests under each of the level, or specifically for the component level itself, that we want to test all the prerequisites if they are available, they are ready, fulfilled before any of the test executes. Why? Because of course in a CI/CD pipeline, it is very important for us to understand the manual interventions are almost negligible. That means we look forward to do everything automatically. So these prerequisites, when fulfilled, will avoid manual interventions as much as possible and certainly look forward to do all the work automatically. And that's where the first checks would be related to configuration test, which the automation team should look forward to implement as a part of kicking off with the CI/CD pipeline. The very next level, of course, is the component level. And here we are talking about the component tests, which are part of the build steps of the pipeline as they are executed on the individual component like library classes or web components. They act as quality gates for the pipeline, thus a crucial part of continuous integration pipeline. Indeed, once the code is checked in by the developer, the very first thing which are executed are build verification tests, which can be referred to as those related to the smoke and sanity. And following that, we start with the component test. And indeed, it is also called as unit testing. So all the concrete level test cases would be executed here, which will be directly interacting with individual components to make sure that they are individual. It's just that what we know about unit testing already is being followed here, but the difference is that it is being done automatically. Same way when it comes to the next level, which is component integration test, It can be part of continuous integration pipeline as well if they are tests of low-level components or the SUT, both. In such cases, these tests and the component test are executed together. So if it is possible, you can have them independently if they have different objectives or there are different varieties of tests. But most commonly, we bind them together with the component test itself so that they can be executed in one go. The next one we have is, of course, system testing. So system tests can often be integrated into, again, continuous deployment pipeline, not the CI, that is continuous integration. So please mind these words. This is what would become one of your question in the examination, because they would try to purposefully highlight that which one of these tests would be contributing to CI and which one would be contributing to deployment. So system test basically goes with the deployment part, and to further continue, where they act as the last quality gate of the delivered SUT. So again, system testing can also be a candidate of this, and we look forward to automate them as much as possible. And the last level, of course, is system integration test between the different system components are often part of continuous delivery pipeline as quality gates. And these system integration tests ensure that the separately developed system components are working together. So the objective, as we know from foundation already, that SIT is all about integrating multiple systems together, and they may have various integrations or exchange of data possible. So all the tests related to that particular concept would be integrated into the pipeline as a part of this particular level, and certainly can be seen as a good candidate for contributing to the CI/CD pipeline. So let's continue further, and the next thing we are talking about is extension on the same. So many modern continuous integration systems differentiate between build and deployment phases of the continuous delivery pipeline. In these cases, the component test and component integration test are the part of the first build phase, and when the first phase is successful, that is build and test together, the components or SUT are deployed. In case of system integration test and system testing and acceptance testing, there are two main approaches to integrate them into such pipeline. In fact, this is what I was trying to highlight to you in the previous slide, that first we told you that component test and component integration test are basically the CI, and then we have deployment and delivery. So certainly these would have their own contributions, and that is what now is being further deep dive, that why exactly some of the organizations may have differently done, and then what are the different approaches which we can look forward to attempt to. So the two approaches, of course, which are listed here. Number one is test cases are executed as a part of the deployment phase after the component deployment. This can be beneficial as based on the test results, the development can fail and also be rolled back. However, in this case, if tests need to be rerun, a redeployment needs to be done, which is a very simple statement as an understanding of the DevOps, but I think this particular line is a little more technical. So let me just make it simple for you. Generally, when developers check in the code, the pipeline is designed in such a way that there are multiple major milestones like build verification test, then we have unit test, unit integration test, system integration test. And each of these will have a quality criteria that if build verification test passes, then only the unit test should be executed. When unit test passes with a certain amount of coverage, then we would execute the component integration test. And these criteria check are basically the rerun criteria. And we don't just restart from where it failed. In this case, what happens at any point of time, no matter where in the pipeline, if the pipeline breaks, which simply means that the previous test execution did not fulfill the criteria or did not succeed with 100% pass result, the developer is required to rectify these issues and recheck in the code to start right from the beginning again. That means every single time, anywhere the pipeline breaks, that means it fails, we will have to rectify the issues and check in again so that the whole pipeline can be retested. Talking about the second approach here, the second approach certainly talks about the test cases which are executed as a separate pipeline, triggered by the successful deployment. This can be beneficial if it is expected that different test suites and versions and various test automation code will run on each deployment. In this case, tests do not act as a quality gate, thus it requires other, usually manual actions to roll back an unsuccessful deployment. And in this case, a few sample automated test script as deployment checks can be used to ensure the SUT is deployed. See, one approach is where you can embed this into the pipeline and basically perform it, and wherever it fails, we would like to have a recheck in and the things will be repeated. The other option is you can have a separate pipeline because these are used for the deployments, especially the system testing, system integration, and acceptance. So when we talk about CI and CD, or CI or CD, we can have separate pipelines for them as well. So once CI is completed, the integration part, then we will look forward to deploy them. And for deployment, you can have a separate pipeline as well. And that's where these tests will be separately executed. And for each execution, in case anything goes wrong, then we would be doing manual rollback to the previous state. Further to add, in this case, a few simple automated test scripts as a deployment check can be used to ensure the SUT is deployed, but these automated test scripts do not verify any functional suitability in a broad manner. And that pretty much makes sense that they are more of like fulfilling the qualities to supply to the main branch, but rather not interested in performing any kind of basic checks which are already performed in the previous levels. So that's pretty much what exactly it looks forward to cover as a part of our CI/CD pipeline with two different approaches if in case we don't want to do them together. Let's move on to the next part of it. And of course, the third segment is basically talking about which are the pipelines that can also be used for other test automation purposes. So yes, of course, the pipelines are just not limited to the component integration, system integration, etc. It can also be pretty much used for other test automation purposes. For example, running different test suites periodically. A regression test suite can be run every night. Basically, it takes very longer. So especially for the longer running test suites, so the team will have a clear picture of the quality of the SUT in the morning. So indeed, what happens is regression tests generally grow longer in size over a period of time. So it would take longer to execute a big bunch of regression test suite. Thus, we look forward to run them overnight. And then next morning when the team comes, we get the result of the regressions and find out if there was any kind of side effects of that. So it can also be embedded into your existing CI/CD pipelines at the end of the day, which might be time triggered that once the day ends, maybe around 7 p.m. of the evening, you would start the regression testing and should finish in another 4 to 5 hours of time. When we come back in the morning, we look forward to the results of that. So yes, it can also be used as a part of the pipeline. And the second option we have is running non-functional tests. We should not forget the non-functional also plays a very vital role in terms of testing a system's stability. So yes, when we talk about non-functional test, either part of continuous deployment pipeline or sometimes separately to periodically monitor certain non-functional quality characteristics of the system, such as performance efficiency. So it's not necessary that you can have it embedded into the pipeline, but you may certainly use a separate pipeline for all the non-functional checks like usability, kind of stability and reliability. There are many measures which are related to non-functional, including security, etc. So you may run them all together in a separate pipeline, and if required, you can use these pipeline for even those purposes, and yet required, but probably after the regression checks, because at the regression you will have the confirmation on the stability check that the system is not broken, and then we look forward to the other non-functional checks as well. So in simple words, the pipelines are just not limited to functionality. It might be used for the regression as well as for the non-functional test. So that's all from this particular segment, team. Should you have anything else, feel free to comment below. I'm always there to address your queries and answer them well. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring, keep understanding the context. Thanks for watching the video, team, and happy learning.